Hello and welcome to this free mandolin lesson aimed at beginner and intermediate players. In the next 10-12 minutes or so, we're going to be talking all about pentatonic scales, what they are, why they are, how we use them, and we'll finish the lesson with a quick example of a song that is completely built out of a pentatonic scale, and that is the Scottish tune called Loch Lomond, and that sounds a bit like this. Everything we talk about in this video is included in a free PDF. This lesson, more than any, will be useful to have the notes in front of you so you can see about everything that we talk about. So what is a pentatonic scale? So obviously penta means we've got 5 notes. So at some point we needed a scale with 5 notes. And we get there most easily through the major scale. Every key is built off a major scale. So if we stick to the key of G, because it suits the mandolin really well, but this would apply in any key, we need our 7 notes. A major scale has 7 notes in. You might know it as do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, or on the mandolin. So do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Those are the notes. Or in terms of numbers, if G is 1, because that's our root key, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then sort of starts again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. Or in terms of notes, G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, and G. Most useful for this lesson to think in terms of numbers, because if you think in numbers, then that's easy to move to different keys. Now there are 2 notes in there that are semitone apart. Between 3 and 4, the B and the C, is a semitone or a half step if you're American. And between 7 and 1, or 7 and 8, is a F sharp and G, and that's also a semitone. Now the semitone or the half step creates quite a bit of tension with the harmony. Nothing wrong with that. It's quite often, more often than not, what we want. We want a bit of tension because then we can resolve it. But if we were to take those notes out, let's get rid of the 2 notes that create the most tension. So we now just have G, A, B, miss out the C, D, E, miss out the F sharp, back to G. So we've taken away the 2 notes that create tension, the F sharp and C, and we now have G, A, B, D, E, G, or 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1. Notice we now have 5 notes, and that is our G major pentatonic scale. There's a few ways you can think about it. You can think of it's the major scale with 4 and 7 removed, or it's 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1. Whichever works for you. It's both describe the pentatonic scale, but it's essentially the major scale with the tension notes removed. So if we just play that together, the 2 octaves, 3 and 4 and... There's your G major pentatonic scale. Before we talk about the why, let's do a quick exercise. I'm just going to play a G chord, and all I want you to do is waffle, noodle around, up, down, any rhythm you want on those notes. Any order, however you want. So it's a bit of improvising with no melody reference, just have a little waffle. And I'm just going to play mandolin and guitar, a G note for about 30 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, go! Any note. So that exercise is meant to explain the why. By taking away the notes that create tension, every note you now can use sounds nice and safe against that harmony. And it extends even further. If you were to play in the key of G, you would also have two other chords. You'd have a C chord and a D chord most commonly. And unlike when you're improvising with arpeggios and things like that, you can almost ignore the chord progression because all of those 5 notes will sound harmonically nice over any chord in the key of G. So it's a way of improvising, and there's a lesson linked below which goes further into improvising. It's a way of improvising that is really safe, and it requires just one scale to cover the whole song and any chord in that key. So that's why they're very useful to know. But for this lesson, I want to stick more about how they work on the mandolin, and let's try and get a pattern that we can move up and down the neck, because at the moment we only know a G pentatonic, but how can we play any pentatonic? So first of all, I want to put that scale in a position where it's closed, so there's no open strings. So to do that, we need to start on the 5th fret with our first finger. So it's 5, 7, 9, 5, 7, 10. So we've essentially, it's a G major scale without those 2 notes. So now we've got a shape and a pattern that has no open strings. So we can move that anywhere. So if we need an A pentatonic without thinking 1, 2, 3, 5, what are my notes in A? We can just do the same pattern but start on an A. So there's an A down here on the G string. So straight away, I'm not even thinking about what notes I'm doing. There's my A pentatonic. It's just a shape that I've moved down the neck. Same thing if someone said we need an E pentatonic. Same shape. Just start in a different place. Just keep moving it around the neck. And all you need to do is think of the root, and then the rest follows suit. If we reset back to our G pentatonic, in music there's things relative minor and major. Every major key has a relative minor, and it's the 6th step of the major scale is the relative minor. So in G, that's the E. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So E is the relative minor of G. So if we were to take the G pentatonic and start and end, instead of start and end on a G, we use the same notes but start and end on an E. We end up with an E minor pentatonic. So we've used the G major pentatonic to construct our E minor pentatonic. And then just to compare, just so we can compare how they both sound, we want to find the, now we've got our E minor pentatonic, maybe let's find our G minor pentatonic. So again, like we did with the major, we want a shape that we can move all around the neck. So, and it turns out if you move that E pentatonic down here, so you start with your ring finger on the 9th fret. So 9, 5, 7, 9, 5, 7. It's 9s, 5s and 7s. That gives you the minor pentatonic and no open strings, so we can now move that everywhere. So if we find the G on that note, which is here, we get our G minor pentatonic. The minor pentatonic is most useful when you're playing blues, and it can also be used in improvising as well, but we're not going to do that in this lesson. What I want you to take away from this lesson is that shape we found. So we now have 2 patterns, and I'll put them on the video. We now have 2 patterns to find our major and minor pentatonics. We just need to know the pattern and the root. So major starts there. That was a G major. G minor. Just by knowing, I'm not even thinking in terms of notes, I'm thinking patterns. I've got that pattern for minor, that pattern for major. So again, if someone said, oh, we're playing in D flat, you think, how the heck am I going to play a D flat minor pentatonic scale? Just play the pattern. flat major pentatonic. I'm not even thinking in terms of notes. So useful on the mandolin that we can do that. So sear those two shapes into your brain, and then let's just finish with a quick exercise. So I want you to be able to hear how even with just 5 notes, that sounds quite restrictive, but you can construct beautiful melodies and also have a go at improvising. So the tune, Loch Lomond, I'm not going to go through it, we're just going to dive in and play. At that speed. We're going to play it twice through. So the first time through, I'm going to play the melody. And then we'll hit repeat straight away, and I'll drop out and I'll just provide some chords. So on the second time through, you can either play the melody again if you're still getting to grips with it, or have a go at improvising with the G major pentatonic. Because what you can do is ignore chords. You can waffle to your heart's content, and you will hear that nothing is clashing. Interesting, there are 2 notes in this melody that are not in the G pentatonic. See if you can see where they are. Also, see if you can hear where they are, because they do add a little flavour to the melody that is really nice. So let's call it 99% G pentatonic used to construct this song. So here we go, twice through Loch Lomond with mandolin and guitar. Second time through, you're on your own, either melody or chords. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Repeat. Keep going. So that finishes this lesson. That's everything I want to say so far. I want you to take away the idea that the major pentatonic is the major scale with the clashing notes removed to make our improvising a lot safer. Nothing's going to clash against the chords, so it frees you up to waffle away to your heart's content. And then I want you to take away the 2 shapes. So the major pentatonic, that idea, that sort of 3 notes on one string, 3 notes on the next string, and then that can be moved anywhere. And then the minor pentatonic goes across 3 strings with just 1 note on the first one. And then that opens up every pentatonic in every key. That's such a useful thing to do. I hope you had a go at Loch Lomond. Rewind, just keep having a go so you can hear how pentatonic works against every chord. Please hit like and subscribe while you're here. We do these lessons every month. Head over to mandomike.com if you'd like some more information from me on any subject, and we'll see you next month.